Hi there and welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm IceMan and today we are doing a guide video on Sicia Flametongue. She's one of the newer legendary champions to the game. Demon Spawn, Force Affinity, attack based legendary, and boy oh boy does she not look absolutely amazing. I mean, even just the segmented tail, the fiery wings, the fiery sword, the fiery everything really. I do like fiery characters. I just think they look cool, and she certainly looks extremely cool now. If they come out with similar sort of characters, electric base with electricity sort of shooting off them, that'll be really cool, but you know, we'll have to wait for that one. So yeah, one of the better skins I've seen in the game, although it is hard to say that these days because just so many of them really knock it out of the park. So yeah, let's jump into it, shall we? So her A1, Towering Inferno, attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 15% chance of increasing the duration of HP burn. Debuffs on the target by 1 turn. This can be booked up by a further 15%, which in my case I have done, so that's actually 30. And it's a free hitter, so she's solid for the Fire Knight. Then we've got her A2, Flame Eruption, attacks all enemies. Has a 100% chance when booked of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Also has a 100% chance of placing a 60% decrease defense debuff for 2 turns if there are at least 2 enemies under HP burn debuffs. I find this a little bit annoying. It limits the content she's useful for. She's great on waves, really fun to play in the arena, but it means she's no good on bosses, with the exception of the spider bosses, because they're the only ones where you actually can take advantage of this because there's more than one enemy in boss fights. And I wish they'd change that just so that at least one enemy has to be under HP burn. Then she's golden. She is great for everywhere. She'd actually make a really solid clan boss champ if you can get her health up high enough to keep her alive and stuff like that. But with the HP burns, I think she'd do some solid damage. And obviously she should bring decreased defense and weaken as well as the HP burn. So, you know, totally busted then. Well, not busted, but just really solid. And you know, this already affects in the arena and everywhere. It's just the solo boss fights that she doesn't affect, so it wouldn't break her to change that, to be honest. Then this instantly activates any HP burn debuffs on each target and decreases the duration of those HP burn debuffs by 1 turn. This can be booked up to 100 as we said, and the cooldown can be brought down by 1 from 4 to 3. Her A3, Firestorm Right, places a HP burn debuff on this champion for 3 turns, then attacks all enemies. Has a 100% chance when booked of placing a HP burn debuff on all enemies for 3 turns. Grants an extra turn if a HP burn debuff is placed on all enemies. This is an absolutely amazing ability and it hits really hard. And again, you can bring the cooldown down by 1 from 5 to 4. Now I have fully booked this champion. I thought she was well worth the books. I love the look of her kit, and I really wanted to sort of take advantage and try her out at her best, or not her best, but you know, I could have got her in better gear, but close to it anyway. Metaphysics, passive, increases this champion's speed by 3 and the damage inflicted by 3 for each ally and enemy under HP burn debuff. If Cardial's on the same team, all allies will heal by 3% of their max HP from HP burn debuffs instead of receiving damage and losing HP. Now, this is all allies. I don't know if that includes her. If it does, then that's really solid and really cool. If you've got Cardial, which I don't, obviously it's only going to affect when you've got HP burn, so she does put one on herself, so she could get some healing from that at least. And if you happen to get HP burn on your other teammates from whoever you're against, again they can benefit from it there, so that's great. It's really good, and damage by 3 and speed by 3 is really solid. You can go in, hit everybody with this, with the A3, get another turn, boost your damage by 3 by putting the HP burn on yourself and your speed, then go in with your A2 and then do another nuke. It is really cool, I have to say. She's got an aura, increases ally accuracy in all battles by 60, which is really cool. So her artifacts, let's start off by taking a look at her total stats. I think So we've got to look at the elephant in the room, I'm afraid, here. Yep, I know. There's an elephant walking across the screen. You knew it'd be there, right? No, but in all seriousness, we've got to take a look at the elephant in the room. Her health is disgustingly low, and it is a pain to build this champ because she needs everything. She needs HP, she needs attack, she needs crit rate, she needs crit damage, she needs accuracy. The only thing she doesn't really need is resistance, but it certainly wouldn't hurt. And she needs speed, you know. Whew, I'm running out of breath with how much she needs. So yeah, I've only got her health up to 25k, which is disgustingly low. Attack even at 3.7. I would like to have this up closer to 5k, but if I could get more accuracy into her build maybe, and swap out a banner, stuff like that, that might help. Some better sub rolls in places. But for the gear I've got, you know what it's like. If you want to run a set or something like that, sometimes you have to take a loss there to take a gain there. It's just the way it is with building champs. We all know this. 2.1k defense, which is actually pretty solid. It's just a shame that the health's so low to go with it. She's still kind of a glass cannon and falls over when people just blow on her, quite frankly. Like a little leaf flying around or something. 201 speed, really solid for a champ at this sort of build. And like I say, it was a tough build. 110 crit rate, a bit higher than I need, I know. But hey, again, it's doing what you can. 240, well, 239 crit damage. I'm really happy with that. That was tough to get there, but we did. And 317 accuracy. You add that with her aura, and she's golden for just about anywhere in this game. So that's the total stats. What have I got her in? Accuracy with speed and defensive stats. I will say there are 3 6-star pieces on her. I am sorry for that. The reason for 2 of them is because of the set I've put her in. I've put her in a swift parry set, which we'll take a quick look at. Speed increases by 18%, crit damage by 30%, and gives a 50% chance of unkillable when hit with a fatal hit. Absolutely brilliant for the arena, or anywhere really. It can be a real lifesaver. And it's really funny if you happen to get knocked right down to that last bit of health, then she gets a turn and just nukes everybody. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, it is so much fun. The boots are rolled up. I had no choice there. I've not rolled up the neck or the sword, you know, to keep it a little more fair, so that similar stats to a 5-star. We've then got her in attack ring, speed boots, attack chest. If my attack was a bit higher from elsewhere in the build, I'd actually look at maybe swapping that into a health chest because she's that low in health. But you know, again, it's like I say, it's just trying to get the stats you can. Plus, there's also the whole. I doubt I've even got a HP chest in this set, so then that becomes an issue. So obviously we've also got her in a perception set, which gives her accuracy and speed, which is great. This gives her speed, quick damage, and the unkillable, again great. Quick damage gloves, and then as you can see, that's it for that. So masteries. Obviously we've gone down the attack tree and the support tree. Support tree, we've gone for accuracy, 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 turn meter, decrease, down into Master Hexer to increase the duration of those HP burns, of course. Now on the offense tree, I've done a little bit similar to what many people do, but I've gone a bit off the beaten track. You know, a lot of people tend to go for the damage at full health and all the rest of it. It does make sense for the arena, in a sense, if she manages to go first and get that first hit. But if she doesn't, she's stuffed. So the other thing is, I thought, well, people are always under shields in the arena. People put people in shield sets on defensive teams in the arena, and that increases damage by 5%. This increases damage by 25%. So based on the fact that shields are quite heavily used in the arena, and that's one of the main places I want to use it personally, that's the route I've gone. It's totally up to you how you want to play it, but that's just a personal preference. Obviously quick damage. Then we've gone for more speed, more damage on a first hit. Chance to reset if you exceed X amount of damage. Opportunist doesn't really apply here. Increases damage inflicted to targets with stun, sleep, fear, true fear, or freeze. Well, it does, but again, not on the first hit. If she's got, it depends who's going first on your team and what they bring to the team. I quite often like to play her with Astralon, who stuns, and he's a bit faster than her. So if he goes first and manages to stun everybody, she comes in and cleans up. She's going to do all that extra damage because they've already got the stuns on. So again, that pairs really nicely, and that's why I've gone that route. Stoked to Fury obviously increases damage inflicted by each debuff on this champion. She puts a debuff on herself, so that actually helps. So she can start off with a debuff and do more damage. And because she actually debuffs herself and then attacks, she's actually already boosting that damage straight away. Whereas she doesn't do the attack then debuff herself. Then I've gone for this one to increase damage in the arena and 3% in all other places, and down into Helm Smasher to get the extra damage there, obviously. So that's her Masteries in a nutshell. Obviously this is just a guide. This is how I built it based on who I'm using her with, where I'm using her, and what gear I've got her in. And you've got to take all that stuff into account when you're doing Masteries for champions. Does this work for a guide? Yes. Does it work to copy? It's not a good idea. So we're going to take her into some content. Okay, so we're going to try her in Spider 20. This is a first for me. I've not done this before with her. I've seen other people do it and it worked rather well, so we'll give it a try myself with the usual sort of comp I use. We've got Duck in here to decrease defense, which is necessary with her, because if you do not get the decreased defense out there beforehand, then what happens is she tends to lead with the Ray 2 and you want her to lead with the Ray 3, even though she hasn't actually got a chance of putting decreased defense out there because there's no HP burn. She still does it anyway. It's broken. So the way around that is you make sure you've got another decreased defense champion in there that's faster than her, and then she will use the HP burn properly. And in all honesty, just to let you know, she's got an extra 6-star piece on now. What I've done is I've swapped out her banner and her ring from accuracy and attack to HP purely to bump up her HP and nothing else, because basically if her HP is lower than Achak, because she's kind of weak and doesn't have the sustain in her build and everything, she will die, and then she's not doing the job of putting out HP burns and increasing them and all the rest of it. So basically I've made a point of lowering Achak's health a little bit by a couple of thousand, just to make sure that he is below her, and I've made a point of upping her HP, so she's no longer at 25, she's now at 36. So I've managed to get it quite significantly up just from changing those two pieces, which is good, and we'll see if this works. Again, I've not tried this. I've tried it once without those changes and it failed miserably because she just kept dying too often. So HP burn goes out, and as you see, Firestorm right comes out and she does the HP burn, which is what we wanted. And you've got that HP burn out just about everywhere. 3 stacks, 3 stacks. Don't have any on the big spider, but that's not the end of the world. It's the little spiders that are going to be doing the damage here. And look at that, we're 33 seconds in and already at 50% health, and that's pretty fast. My usual run doesn't run this fast. But my usual run I'm happy with. I may bring her in if I can definitely get to the point where I'm happy that it's 100%, and I've tried it enough times that I'm confident of that. At the moment, I usually run Elder Skarg in this set, and he actually does brilliantly, and with Achak, and it works in tandem really nice. I've done a video on it. If you want to see that, you can go take a look over there. I pointed in the wrong direction again. I do it so often. But yeah, it's a great video. It is a great tandem. Achak's brilliant here for this. As you can see, he's keeping himself alive. He's keeping them all running fast. Now with her not taking the damage, look at what is going on. They're blowing up these HP burns, putting them out there, and that health is just chunking down. My best time ever is 1 minute 10. This was only 20 seconds behind that, and I believe that 1:10 one was one of those with like all the max HP champions, which is fine. It was fast, but it wasn't reliable, hence why I went for this sort of run instead. And I've just got 20 seconds shy of that with a similar sort of run to what I normally do, only swapping her in for Elder Skarg and swapping the health out. And as you saw, she did it brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. I have to say I'm really happy with that. Oh, Shadowkin amulet. I was like, what the hell is this piece? I don't actually have any Shadowkin to put it on, but you know, I'm sure I will do at some point, hopefully. So we'll keep that. Right, I'm going to edit this next bit out because I'm basically going to jump back into the champion, change up her build back for what it was. Right, let's try this out. So basically, we're going to. I know she's the wrong affinity here. I'm probably bonkers for trying it, but we'll give it a go, see what it looks like, see how it goes. I've got a sneaky suspicion this might actually work rather well, but we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously we've got a lot of support in here. We've got Duck in here for the decreased defense, decreased attack. We've now got two champions that bring weaken. She also brings decreased attack, so we're overabundant for that. Then we've got some really solid support in Valkyrie and some of the Drakes. As you saw with the spider, she just blew them up. And as I say, the really important thing there is to make sure, if you're going to try and use her for it, that she doesn't have enough sustain in her build. So either you bring some really epic healers and support with you, or as I did, you bring an alternate spider tank with lower health, and then that will keep that can keep himself up, and then that will keep the damage off her, and she's up to do the HP burns, and it works brilliantly. And it's really fun to watch, I have to say. I really did enjoy that, and I hope you did too, quite frankly. So as you see, this is working out rather nice. We've got the, I mean, she does masses of damage anyway. She's a wave clear monster, even when she's negative affinity, as you saw. Duck obviously helps there with his provoke. He's an amazing champion in his own right. Top tier epic in the game as far as I'm concerned. He's overtaken Stag Knight's position easily, hands down. He's just better. And there you go, and actually it's a pretty solid time, not my fastest. God knows who I managed that with, to be fair. I'll sell that. But as you can see, they can do it quite happily. Dragon's Lair, again, she's going to be great. She'll put HP burn on the boss. She's not going to do a hell of a lot of damage on the boss, she's more there for helping with the wave clear. Now, Fire Knight, that's slightly different because obviously she's there to help with the wave clear, but she's also got a triple hitter on her A1. Now, I do apologise if this is going to be a slightly longer video than usual, but I like this champion so much that I actually just want to show her everywhere. Maybe not everywhere. I probably won't do anything in the Doom Tower, to be honest. She's amazing for it, don't get me wrong. But the main place I prefer for that is like wave clear. Obviously, she'll be great for the Frost Spider. Not that I'm up to him at the moment, I don't think. I've been neglecting my Doom Tower runs a little bit. I've just not had the time. Anybody who's been following my videos will notice I've posted a few less this past week than I usually would. That's because I've been on holiday, and using on holiday I can't go anywhere because of COVID obviously, but I've been learning how to use After Effects, which I'd never touched previously, so I spent the last week doing courses on that and learning how to use it so I can sort of improve what I can do in the game. Unfortunately, my computer's unable to handle it and is now crashing because of After Effects. So with any luck I won't have any problems in the next couple of weeks. I've got a new laptop coming and I can always do any After Effects work I need to on there and carry on using my desktop for filming my videos and stuff like that, and I can always export projects out and do the bits I want to do with After Effects on there and then swap them over, you know. But you know, being that I do edit all my own videos, I do all the work on my own videos, I don't hire anything out. The closest I come to that is the fact that my intro was pre-made by Envato Elements, and you know, I got it off of there, and I just changed a few bits, add in my logo, some other bits and pieces, and Bob's your uncle, I've got myself a really cool looking intro. And that's the closest I've come to having to paying somebody else to actually do work for the channel. I do all the editing and everything else myself, all the thumbnails, you name it, it's all me. And I really thoroughly enjoyed doing that stuff on it, and I want to improve my skills on it and try and bring more in-depth videos with cool little bits in and stuff like that. Anybody that's watched some of my older videos will notice that I have improved as I've gone along quite dramatically in a short space of time. I've only been doing this for what, 4 or 5 months now, and yeah, my videos at the start were really shocking compared to what they are now, and the quality of recording and the quality of sound and the quality of editing has vastly improved, and that's something I want to keep up with my videos. So as you saw, 2 minutes 2, we just got my fastest time ever, and I wasn't even paying attention, and I'm sorry about that. I was just telling you about what's been going on. Hopefully you were paying attention and you saw what happened, but you know, like I say, she is an amazing champion. So you've just seen her blow up the spider, alright, with some tweaks to her gear and watching who you place her with and making sure decreased defense goes first. You've seen her blow up the ice giant. Ice Golem's Peak is out of there. Dragon's Lair is no different. She can bash it to pieces. Fire Knight's Castle, she's top tier for it. Now I think we will show her in the arena, and that's where we'll probably end off, because otherwise we'll end up with a video that's 40 minutes long, and we don't want that. We've got a blue and neutral, so that's actually not too bad, so we'll try with this team and see how we go. So Hegemon goes in for the lockout, and we get it on 3 out of 4, which isn't bad. I can't speed boost here, unfortunately, which means Ray's probably going to go first, and every possibility she'll nuke me down. So we will actually try and take back her turn meter. No. Ooh, and we're still alive because of the shields, so that's handy. Okay, we're going to do cooldowns on everybody, I think. Him down. So here we go. Watch the A3. In fact, we'll slow it down a bit so you can see what this looks like. Bang. Now this is a fairly defensive team, and she still placed the debuff on everybody, did some solid damage there, and then comes in for another hit. 15k, 17k. I mean, I've seen her hit for 60, 70k quite happily, so it just depends on the champ she's against, and obviously here she's neutral as opposed to strong, except for one champion. I think part of the problem with her in my build is I need to get that attack up. I mean, to be honest, for most content, well, you see, arena you actually really do want accuracy if you want to be using HP burns and landing stuff. Leave him there, but we'll bring in Hegemon to try and put a stop to any boosting they do, or at least weaken their abilities. So we've got a stun on Arbiter. It's pretty close, but here we go. Boost. They're boosting. But at least a couple of them are locked out. Right, so now we get to see it. 16k, 17k. Now bear in mind that is without decreased defense out there already. And you know, I'd rather have mine built in Savage gear, I would say, but I don't have any Savage gear, so hence I put her in the Swift Parry set that I did. I mean, where I've seen her really tear it depends. I mean, some matches she really tears it up, others she doesn't. Obviously, part of the problem there is only 2 of them were weak affinity, but even those that were weak affinity, she didn't seem to do a hell of a lot of damage on, and I don't know why. I swear I use her normally, and you get some really fun matches where it's like loads of blues magic, and you know, she'll just come in and rip them up, tear them apart. So we're going to leave it there. I do not want to make this video too long, and you know, final thoughts on the champion. She is absolutely amazing. Let's face it though, I mean, no, let's face it, she is amazing. She's a bit soft and hard to keep up in places, so you have to balance damage versus health with her. As a debuffer for putting out the HP burn, she's amazing. You saw what she did in the spider. She actually tore it up. She got my fastest time ever in Fire Knight. She still did a very solid time in one of my faster times with that normal sort of comp in the Ice Golem. So you know, sorry, in Spider even. Ice Golem she did solid, decent, steady. This girl can play just about everywhere. I mean, to be fair, she'll probably still play on the clan boss. She's just not going to be as good as she would do, because you're not going to get the benefit of the decreased defense. You're only going to get the weaken, but you still get the weaken and the HP burn. So all in all, this champion is playable just about everywhere. And for faction wars, whew, yeah, she rips it up, to say the least. So I mean, my faction wars for Demon Spawn these days is just stacked. I've now got Countless Licks. I've recently, not that long ago, managed to get Drexthar here, and I've also got her. So you know, I've got some pretty solid legendaries for my team. And yeah, I mean, one of the best champions to come out in a long time, I think. A great nuke, a great fun. Obviously, you've got to think about where you're going to use her and think about how you're going to use her and build her accordingly. If you're going to be using her in the spider, it depends. Do you want to keep paying to change gear out on her to boost her health up? You've got to sort of think that way. You can maybe just allocate her as a spider champion and build her that way, and then leave her doing that. Or you can use her everywhere, build her with a bit more health, but she's not going to do as much damage and stuff, and you've got to bear that in mind. Or you're going to have to keep paying every time you want to use her for spider runs. Me personally, I prefer to have a dedicated person for that role, so on my team, she's not going to become my spider champion. I would still be using Elder Skarg for that. Even though he's a bit slower, he is dedicated for it, and I don't have to keep spending silver to swap gear out for it. So you know, that's the way I'm going to go with that one. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. It lets YouTube know it's a good video and more people should watch it. And if you enjoy watching my videos, again, hit that like button. Not the like button, we just did the like button. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification. You'll get notified next time I upload a video. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.